show. Today we discuss about feature snippets, how you can get a lot more traffic if you optimize your website with feature snippets. And everyone knows them like position 0, position 1. It depends. Okay, we can figure out and find replies to our questions with Himani Kankaria. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to learn more about that. I know that, today, if you are looking only for getting SEO traffic without optimizing for some blogs that we have on Google, it's hard to go ahead because with these blogs, you can get results much higher, especially with featured snippets, because when your competitors ignore to optimize with feature snippets, you can get the number one position if you rank in the top 10. So why not? You can outrank them
Yeah,
with less efforts.
absolutely.
So I'm excited to learn about that. We have sponsors today, Ahrefs, SEO tools and resources to grow your search traffic. By the way, do you know about this tool? I think you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome tool, and it helps to find keywords, link building opportunities, many other stuff, technical optimization, and by the way, you can find about feature snippets as well. Before we start,
Yeah.
just tell more about your experience, background, and why you decided to take this topic.
Okay. So, I've been doing SEO since more than 13 years now. And I have been into this, SEO stuff when there was this Panda and Penguin update where, there. And at that point in time, I just had 2.5 years of experience in SEO. And that was the time when we actually saw, the complete transformation that happened in the SEO industry, right? So it was like, that was the time when most of the SEO companies got shut up just because of their content. Content was the major thing that happened at that point in time, right? So, well, I was on a maternity break at that point in time. So, I had to learn a lot about, what is happening in the industry and everything. And then slowly and gradually, I understand that it was the content that made all of this, shift that happened. The algorithms were very strong on the content front. So that's when I thought, then let me experiment my, skills on content, right? So I loved writing, but then it was like, I never tried and, I never optimized the content before it went live, right? So for one of those blogs at that point in time in, say, 2015, I believe that, I created a content and I almost took like 3 weeks to, create that content and even, make all optimized and make sure that it is much different than what the competitors have. So the moment I launched that blog, within 1 week, it was there on the featured snippets. So that was the, changing stuff. I would say that, it brought me a lot of appreciation from the management and the entire organization and something. So that motivated me a lot, right? So that's when, the love, the passion for featured snippets happened to me. So by that time, I was in house. Then I went to become a consultant for 3 years, and now finally I own, content driven SEO company, which is Massive Digital.
Nice, nice, love it. I have the question about your activity, actions online, and I found that you spoke on Brighton SEO, White Park local SEO, SEMrush, Meet Magenta. You write for Search Engine Journal. Can you tell how you can achieve high results? I mean, like to be super active on this, I think, world-known events, and tell what kind of information can you bring on these events?
Okay, so it's like, when it comes to, say, being active, it's all because of, wonderful team that I have who, take care of many things. And it's like, the process and the team, they blend it so well together. So that's how, I'm able to bring out some time, right? At least that I can bring some value that we are actually testing and experimenting, at Missive. We want to bring that thing and to the people, that at least they can know that what we are trying and whether it has been successful or not. So we are not, we are not in a this thing that we want to just focus on just sharing the case studies of success stories, but rather we are also looking at, what didn't work when we actually implemented a certain, content optimization. So even, I recently wrote a piece on content optimization mistakes on Search Engine Journal. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the complete list of 17 mistakes that happened to us through these years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even that, whether it is a conversation with our team member or anything, that we have brought it into one piece, right? So it's like, honestly speaking, it takes like 16, it took me 16 hours or something to write that 3,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's something that, team really helps in that thing, that, I am able to find out some time that I can be, able to share such insights with the people that we do at Mr. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess you asked me about, how I bring value to the events. It's something that, there are always new things coming, right? New experiments that we have done with other websites and everything. So that's what helps us to, maybe come with different real life examples and with new packaging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love it, love it. I think, because people are looking for a real experience. They are not interested
Yeah.
to learn some theory, this fluff, because, yeah, the era of lazy marketers is dead. It's hard to get results if you are not looking for new ways how to provide marketing campaigns to get results. And I want to get back to our main topic about feature snippets. For example, I have a website and I want to get this traffic. Where to start? What I need to do first?
Okay, so that depends. Now, if you have a website, if it is a new website, you have to
Mhm.
start with creating the content calendar, right? Because it's like there are no content already published on the website, and if it's a new website, there you have to actually do the keyword research and come up with the topics that actually have featured snippets, right? So I mean, I already have we have this process that we have a calendar where we put out all of these details. We even our content calendar has this column which talks about which type of featured snippets that blog has, right? So we start with that direction, right? Identifying the topics, then also making sure that how that our content would beat the other content that is there on the search competing with this topic, right? So we identify those things and try to come up with something that that would help the reader read the entire content. Honestly, people don't have time to read 3,000, 4,000 words, but they trust you when you have covered all of these things that they expected. So that's what we call it as readers expectations. So a user's reading expectation, just like that we have user search intent, right? So we call it as users reading intent. So we try to match that as well, that why a particular audience would be reading for topic. Say I had an example. I mean, we did it for Ecom Kida. It's an e-commerce knowledge base where we put out content, right? So there it actually happened that we had to write about top fashion e-commerce brands. But then when it comes to that topic, people have this perception that they just want to know the list of brands where they can find good fashion, good apparels and everything, right? But the target audience of Ecom Kida was not those people who are looking to buy something. The target
Mhm.
audience of Ecom Kida are entrepreneurs who are looking to inspire from those fashion brands. So what we did is we took the keyword, that particular keyword, we wrote about that topic, top fashion brands, top online fashion brands, and honestly, we just put out the success stories there. What changes that these top fashion brands did, what decisions that they took, that's why they are standing on top, right? So honestly speaking, it was published on 2018. It is still on featured today.
Mhm.
So we try to match the user search intent, we try to match their reading intent, and we try to make sure that the content that is written adds value to all the readers, right? For that,
Mhm.
obviously, we have to do the keyword research that is there. We also have to do all the on page stuff that is also there, optimizing site title tags, meta description tags. But you have to start it with planning, that how are you going to beat your, say, competitors featured snippets, or you are going to just rank it for the first time, because that happens. Sometimes there are no featured snippets for certain queries, but it might come, if you just try and solve a user's query, it definitely bring you some new featured snippet that was not there earlier.
Love it, love it. Can you tell about the technical aspect? For example, feature snippets are limited with the number of symbols. Can you tell how to find the right quantity of symbols that we need to write, and how to submit this paragraph or quote on your content, because we need to get it in natural way, because not for the sake of submitting. Yeah, just let us know about the quantity, I mean, like the number of symbols, and how to submit naturally.
Right. So, I would frame it in this way that, when it comes to, say, featured snippets, the first important thing on your page is the structure, how you have structured your content, right? How the H1 is, how to H2 is, how you have placed H3s, whether they would fit in the, that featured snippet box or not, right? There is this Google's patent of featured snippets where they explicitly tells you that, they always find out that whether that particular content would fit in that, their designated space or not, right? They always identify that thing, and then they provide the snippet score to all the results, and then they choose one from those, the one with highest snippet score. So that's what the Google's patent talks about, right? So there it is. First thing what matters is that how you structure your content, right? So what you need to do is, say for example, there is a topic about what is content optimization, right? So when I am looking to understand about what is content optimization, I am not looking to read the entire 2000 or 3000 words blog. No, not at all. The intent behind me reading or searching for that keyword would be just a little bit of insights, right? I mean, what is content optimization? That's it. So if I have to
Mhm.
talk about the word count, that differs. Maybe you can explain what is content optimization in, say, 200 words. That's it, right?
Mhm.
And maybe you can now that is something on what is optimization, right? But now if we want to talk about the benefits of content optimization, right? If I have to list down number one, number two, number three, right? Those things cannot be wrapped up in 200 words. So there what I need to do is I have to identify the pointers and then decide what the word count would be. I would say that, because I have written a blog on this already, I believe that should be able to wrap this entire section of why to, why optimize your content is something around 1500 words would do maximum, right? And
Mhm.
now if it comes to, say, how to content, right? If I have to explain you how to optimize for featured snippets, right? If I have to write this, obviously there will be step one, step two, step three, and even for all of these steps, there would be inside sub steps as well, right? That we would might need to do it, right? So there the word count could be like, say 3000 or 3500 words, right? Because it's a how
Mhm.
to guide. So
Mhm.
honestly, the word count depends on what topic you want a featured snippet for.
Mhm.
If you are able to find that out, then you have to frame it in a way that has the queries, mix of queries. I would not say that we should use, the exact match keyword or, queries, but we should be looking and targeting and using queries that are, that could be broad match, or that could be a long tail one or something like that when you explain that paragraph. So have your H2 with the target query and then use a paragraph or a listicle depending on the type of featured snippet that is there on the Google search.
Mhm. Love it, love it. Yeah, interested. Can you tell about your loving tools that you use to find these feature snippet opportunities, and how to use them in the right way? I want to tell why I'm asking about that, because I often see when webmasters buy paid tools but don't use all features that they can get from these tools just to search for high volume keywords. That's why most of them fail without results. But can you tell how to use which tools and how to use them?
Right. So if I talk about, say, tools, usually, I start using first with Search Console, because that's where I am able to identify the queries that have some visibility, right?
Mhm.
If obviously, because the first basic step is that, it should be that content should be on page one. Then only you can, optimize it for featured snippets, because Google actually selects the, URL from that particular top 10 results, right? They identify a featured snippets from the top 10 results of search. So obviously your page has to be on page one. So if that is there, obviously you will be having a list of keywords or queries that are driving you some impressions or clicks, right? But there, the trick is that most of the time, they shows you good or correct number, correct queries. But there are times where they actually showcase very broad terms, which mismatches with the, actual intent of a keyword, right? That might be possible that you see a money keyword for a blog, on search console, and vice versa. In that case, you have to make sure you pick up the right queries from your search console, and then make it a list, make it a list in your sheet. And then what you do is go to Ahrefs or any other SEO tool. What you can do is you can identify the secondary keywords that you would want to actually rank. Maybe you're not driving impressions right now, but those could be the
Hmm.
queries that might be important or might be related to your topic, right? Identify those queries from Ahrefs and gather them. Make a list of them. Now you have keywords, right? Keywords is done. Next thing is that you have to identify that whether your topic has featured snippet or not. Mostly, Ahrefs helps you with this information, that what key queries have search this featured snippet. But in case if you want to do, you can use Google search. Obviously you can use Google search and see if there is any featured snippet for your location. So that is the second thing that you can use. Then obviously, what we do is we usually manually read all the content, right? Because what we want to do is we want to identify a differentiator, the differentiator that would help our content make much more sense than the other blogs, right? So that's why we actually read the entire blogs for all the 10 top 10 sites, and then we identify what all things they missed out, what all things we should be adding, and maybe there might be some visuals that can make it more impactful for the users to understand the topic, right? So that is the manual stuff. There we don't use any tool. Then we use Surfer SEO. Surfer SEO helps us with a lot of information. Honestly, some information are useful and some are not. Obviously, for some reasons that there are times that they suggest you some terms that your competitors have used and you must also use it. But there you have to make a very wise decision. You cannot completely rely on any of the tools. You have to use your strategic and decision making skills, that okay, these have they have suggested the terms, they have suggested the internal links that you would be grabbing, they have suggested some kind of page speed suggestions and something like that, right? Heading tags, title tags, they suggest you a lot of things. But there you have to take the decision what all things would help you. There your SEO instincts will help you. And obviously we use those tracking tools, right? So obviously we use analytics, we use Search Console for tracking whether it has achieved, obviously for tracking featured snippets, Ahref would be there, that whether we have achieved the featured snippet or not. But then the impact we track on analytics and Search Console, that how much there is a difference after achieving a featured snippet and how much difference is there in losing a featured snippet. Honestly, we have seen drastic change in CTRs and traffic when we lose a featured snippet. So that is something that that quickly helps us understand. Oh, we have lost a featured snippet.
Love it, especially when you mentioned about SEO instinct, because yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes when my clients ask me, can you tell how you found this? I don't know, it's instinct, SEO instinct. When you work every single day in your lab and niche, when you learn a lot of about your niche, when you practice, yeah, you have this instinct to find the right way. So yeah, love it. Can you
right.
tell about importance of SEO foundation? For example, if you want to get traffic from feature snippets, you need to optimize your website at all. You need to get high ranking positions as well. Can you tell how it's important to get ranking positions before feature snippets, or we can optimize for feature snippets and forget about SEO ranking? What do you think?
Right. So usually we pick up in that way that we go to the search console and we identify and pick up those blogs that have some visibility. So even if they are on page 2 or page 3, we start picking up them and we try to optimize it so that at least they can reach to page 1. Right? The moment they are on page 1, there will be another set of optimization that we do. So it's not something that we keep optimization like only every 2 months or 3 months. optimization is something that we do almost every month. Even for the blogs that we have optimized the last month, we will look at their search console and analytics, and we will again optimize them so that they can be better every time. Serving the reader's intent and obviously helping search engines understand more about the page, right? So that's why even when it comes to say foundation, it is something that you at least have to be somewhere visible to start optimizing a content, right? If it is not in top 10, then obviously there is the biggest issue there, right? Then your any of your optimization, even we had a client where they had written very thin content, so we had to remove all the content, and what we had to do is recreate all the content. And that's where the shift happened, and then we started optimizing again the blogs. Every 3 weeks we used to monitor them, and then again we used to optimize it. So it's like a cycle, in my White Spark talk also, I told that, publishing a content is just the 20% of your task. But when it comes to optimizing, we do it almost 80% of the time.
Mhm.
So, the ratio is kind of that we follow.
Yeah, nice, nice. Okay, let's talk about creating content. You mentioned about you read the entire blog post and think how you can submit additional information. But it's interesting that I often see when webmasters submit for the sake of having it. And for example, if I need to submit information about weight loss or I don't know crypto forecast, I'm not good with these topics. It's not my direction. If you ask me about digital marketing, okay, I can do it. About SEO, I can do it, but other topics, it's hard. Can you tell how to submit the right information if you have no experience with that, but you need to help clients? Content creators need to do it, or SEO specialists can optimize content?
Right. So, in that case, we recommend, doing maybe experimenting two things. First, what we do is, we usually try to create outlines on our end itself, because we have to make sure that the content that is going to be created, it competes with the content that is already there on the top 10 search, right? So what we do is when we create our content calendar, all the outlines of that content is present there. The writer just have to go onto the content calendar, they just have to pick up the outline. Even they will have the list of references as well, that this is where you have to bring this content from. I mean, inspiration, obviously, because content writers cannot be subject matter experts, so we have to help them with the subject matter expertise. We have to put them notes, we have to share them the say references, sites and everything, right? So what we do is we create the outline, we provide them the this thing, and that's how they can create a content, and then we optimize it, right? Looking at how they have created the headlines, how they, whether it is creative or not, whether it is very catchy or not, whether it serves the SEO best practices has been used or not. So everything, right? So this way also works for us. And even we have tried another way around, is that the content comes like pre-optimized from the writers itself. We provide them the list of keywords, they use it, they optimize it, and then they send it, because there they have been working with us since a long time. So based on our feedback, based on our suggestions, on our calls and everything, they have now started understanding the impact of how they can create the headlines, how they can take a conversation from one topic to another, right? Subsection to another subsection, right? So that's how and even providing guidelines help a lot. If you provide a list of guidelines, that is amazing. That works amazing. So even if we have to say optimize the content, or even they I mean, there are times that people just hire us to create SEO optimized content, right? So that is there. So writers have been trained on that, so they only create it and they optimize it. So both of these would work, but it's something that you have to test it both and see what works with your writers, because sometimes it happens that writers some writers don't have that understanding of SEO. They just understand the subject, they just understand how it can be written better for users, but they don't know how to use the queries, right? That part optimization can be done by us.
Yeah, got it. It's interesting that we have an active audience from 4 continents: the US, Ukraine, India, Africa, Kenya. Thanks, guys, for watching us. And by the way, you can listen on audio podcast as well. I'll submit this episode for a few weeks. So yeah, if you prefer this format, just do it. I have the question uh, link building. Can you tell how it's important to provide link building campaigns to earn links? If you are talking about white hat SEO, to get results with feature snippets, can authority help? To get these results?
Honestly speaking, we have a lot of case studies where we were able to achieve featured snippets without any backlink. So
Mm-hmm.
that is something that, it's not something that, very necessary, but it becomes really important when your site is quite authoritative. Because what happens is that, when your site is quite authoritative, your competitor's site is quite authoritative, there you need links to support that content and make it more authoritative, right? So for authority, you need links. Otherwise, search engines actually give a lot of importance to the quality of the content and how it helps the users, right? So definitely, we should be using different platforms so that we can drive traffic. Until and unless we drive traffic to, our that blog, we are not going to get any results. It's something that, that we create it and publish it won't make any difference to it, but putting internal links, helping search engines understand more about the pages through structured, schema tags that we use, so that will help the search engines understand more about your content, right? That way you can help it. Otherwise, backlinks become really important when your site is competing with the larger set of, very competitive queries. There, achieving backlinks becomes mandatory.
Mhm. Okay, let's talk about schema. Can you tell how to set up the schema to optimize the feature snippets? Because I see two ways: when you just click a few buttons and optimize schema, or to provide manual job when you need to submit additional data to analyze. What do you think? Which way is better?
Okay, so I guess both have worked for us. I mean, earlier we didn't had a person who would manually write these schema tags. So we used to create it through online tools that is available from Merkle or something. We used that tool to create online schema tags for how-to blogs, for even FAQ section as well, and the entire blog schema tag as well, right? So we used to create it through tools that also works perfectly fine, and even creating manually also works fine. So that is something that we need to use it carefully depending on type of content that we have. I mean, recently we are updating. We are targeting a featured snippets for a research based organization where they publish research every month. So there, it's like the type of competition is same. I mean, the content that their competitors are going to publish is also the same, right? So it is difficult to compete with the content there. So what we did is, we created a table. We used the table schema tags, and that helped us achieve at least for one featured snippets on last Friday only. So
Mhm.
that is something that depending on the type of content and what it would how impactful we can make it for audience, right? So based on that we can identify, and maybe based on that we can optimize our content and use the schema tags accordingly. Because there we had FAQs, but we didn't had a how to schema tag. We had it FAQ and table schema tag. That's all. So you can use it. These automated generated schema tags also work the same way, like you do it manually.
Yeah, love it, love it. Okay, let's talk more about SEO. Can you tell about how to learn SEO today? What to do. For example, if someone wanna be an expert one day to get high results, I don't know, like to sell services, or even I don't know, to get traffic to their websites. For example, if you started today from scratch without any experience, skills, what will you do to learn SEO?
Okay. I would start with one thing is that, I would identify the courses that are available from the authentic sites. Say, for example, there are multiple, courses that has been launched by, say, there are from SEMrush, there are from, Blue Array SEO company. There are many courses that, these authority sites have come up with. We will identify, we will do a small, I'll focus on doing one course at a time. And then I will have my own website where I will implement everything that I have learned, right? Say if a course tells me that, this is how you can create a website, then I will have my own website where I will implement everything that I have learned.
Oh, I think we lost connection, guys. But I wanna continue that way. Um, Himani shares about courses, and I think I love this way. By the way, I ask my audience on LinkedIn which way is better to learn for them, and courses got more than 50% of responses. So I love it. Yeah, I think Himani is you back. Yeah, you can continue with courses because
Yeah.
I decided to tell when we. I know that things happen about with this internet. I lost a connection every time, and I decided to tell about courses because you started from that. But you can continue.
Yeah, so it's like we have this heavy rains over here. This is the season of rains. So internet is something that that keeps on fluctuating almost all the time. So this is something which is common for us over here. Yeah, so courses, right? So I would learn on the courses. I would see whatever they are explaining. I will implement it on the website. Because what has happened is that we hire a lot of interns at our agency. So what we have seen is that they have all the knowledge. If you ask about them to about internal links, they know it. If you talk about what is the process of keyword research, they will tell you orally amazing list of process that you feel that okay, for a beginner this process is fine, right? But when you give actually a website that they would do use it for keyword research, it's something that you feel that completely different from what you expected, right? So that's why practical experiment is very, very important when it comes to learning anything, right? So I would do this thing that, maybe do some courses, then experiment on the website, and then keep a close watch on the industry experts, like, Alida Solis. There are many other, Orit, Suganthan. There are many people, Modi, I mean, you guys are, interviewing a lot of people. There is so much to learn, right? So it's something that keep a follow these industry experts, that how they are implementing certain things. They sometimes they even share checklists, they even share their own processes with you, right? So that can help you become better, and try and grab a job where you get to learn, rather than looking at some perks. I would say that for beginners it's really important to learn the right way. So I believe that that is something that is going to help you with more experiments, more failures, because failure is something, until and unless you fail, you don't know whether an experiment worked for you or not, right? So that is
Yeah.
something that I would highly recommend.
For me, failing only brings a new experience and nothing else. So
Correct.
without failures, it's hard to go ahead. And I remember when Elon Musk uh, uh, replied about failures, and he mentioned that if you don't fail, you are not innovative enough. So yeah, you are boring, you're generic. But when you test something, but by the way, you mentioned about testing. Can you tell how to provide SEO testing today? Because it takes time. For example, if I test on pay-per-click campaigns, I can analyze for a few days. But in SEO, I see when SEMrush provides testing for 3 weeks. Can you tell, for example, how to provide testing for any websites? How long does it take? And your advice how to test in the right way.
Right. So, what has worked for us when it comes to testing, it is something that, we usually implement it one by one. Say if we have to implement it, say just internal links, we will just optimize internal links, and then we will wait for, say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Usually, maximum in the 3 weeks, you get to know whether it has worked for you or not. In case your website is very busy, you optimize the content. I mean, crawl budget is high, or maybe, Google is visiting your site almost every day. That is something where you can see faster results, so you don't have to wait for, say, 2 weeks. But if your website is kind of normal busy, where you can expect that your test could be out with the results at the end of 3 weeks. So don't go everything, don't go all in. Never go all in, because what
Mhm.
happens is that you don't know whether tech SEO worked, whether your core web vitals worked, whether your content optimization worked. What worked, it becomes really crazy. So I would suggest that
Mhm.
you should do one test at a time.
Love it, love it. And I think if you are talking about going all in, it's related to poker, because in SEO and trading, it's better, yeah, to put all eggs in different basket, as Warren Buffett mentioned about that. Okay, I'm interested about. Three things that it's better to avoid today. What webmasters don't need to do. It's obsolete. It doesn't work. It can penalize your website. Can you mention three things that it's better to avoid?
I would say, these days people don't put such, hidden links and everything. Otherwise, that could be on the top list today. But I would
Mhm,
say that, first thing is that don't just put content just like that. People are doing a lot of, I mean, we have seen a lot of websites these days that have thousands of blog on their website with thin content, with only 200 or 300 words content for every topic. And there they are just promoting their different websites, which is a big no-no. If you cannot provide value to your audience, please don't invest in content. It's a waste of time. And it can penalize,
mhm,
definitely it can penalize. We have seen some case studies, we have heard about them on Twitter in the last core update that happened recently, right? So we have seen that sites have been affected due to those thin content on the website. So please don't do. That is the biggest no over here. Second thing is that be watchful for the backlinks that you acquire, because what happens is that until and unless those sites are really authoritative, those are going to put you in big pit hole that where from where coming out it would be very difficult, right? So backlinks is something that you have to be very, very careful. I understand these days it's not easy to grab backlinks. People ask money to you, that you have to pay money to grab backlinks, but it's something that be patient, try and identify, build authorship, rather than just putting out links anywhere and everywhere. Don't do directory submissions or social bookmarking, because those don't work today. It is either business listings or product listing sites, not directory listing sites, right? So be careful on the backlinks. And the third
mhm,
thing is something that I would like to say around is, um, I guess, after content backlink, I think this could be sorted, I believe. I don't need a third one.
mhm. Okay. Okay. The next question about three things that must do. Any webmasters must do things. Three things. Can you tell them?
Okay. So I would say that you must focus a lot on audience. Very important,
Mhm,
because these days competition is increasing a lot, right? There are a lot of competition, and it's like it is becoming difficult. And most of the time, what happens is, for the same query, you might have to target. I mean, there might be different types of audience. Like I said earlier, with the example of say top online fashion brands, right? There were two different audiences for the same query. That happens to even our tech clients as well, that the query is same but the audience is different. If you don't position yourself better, all your content optimization, all your SEO efforts, everything is going to be in it will be in vain. Because if you don't focus on your audience,
Oh, guys.
it's something
Yep.
that you might grab good traffic but no leads. So that you
Mhm,
cannot forget about. Third thing is, I would say, audits. Audits is something that you cannot ignore. Without audit, you should not strategize. Until and unless you know the data, you have the data of analytics, Search Console, any other tools. We even use CRO tools for. Sometimes we use CRO tools for heavy optimization, right? So there, it's something that you need to look at those things and then decide that how you are going to do it. So obviously, first is audience research. Second is this thing audits, and the third thing is keep your KPIs fixed. That how are you going to decide what action made you what? I mean, and what will be the result, right? Keep the goal in front of you so that you know that after doing this task, I'm going to achieve this. Because everyone would tell you that you have to do keyword research, internal linking, everything, right? but you need to know why are you going to do internal linking, how are you going to do it, and what you will achieve after setting, finishing the entire internal linking task, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the
Yeah.
three things.
Okay, we have the last question from Moses. How to do a blog topic research? Can you help him?
Okay, so block topic research, I would say there is a bit tricky thing over here is that most of the time what happens is sometimes the search intent differs, right? If you think this is a block topic, it might be a commercial intent keyword as well. So what you can do is you identify the list of keywords from a search tool, right? You can use any SEO tool, you can use Ahref and any other tool. Use that tool, identify, put your main primary keyword there and identify what all block topics that you can find. You can also use Google search, right? Google search, when you type in a query, you might see the suggestions, right? So Google search suggestions are also brilliant suggestions that they can bring for a block topic. Even SEMrush has this block topic, topic suggestion. They have this feature, so you can use that as well. And once you do the keyword research, you can identify the keyword research with informational search intent, and then you can pick up those blogs and plan it for featured snippets as well.
Mhm. Okay, the last question. Sorry for that because I thought that was the last. But Mathu, wanna ask, please clarify when would be free backlinks like directories, bookmarks, listings are effective. What do you think about such type of link building?
Honestly speaking, I still know that people have 500 list of backlinks on directories, social bookmarkings. It's not effective until and unless it's relevant. So you need
Mm-hmm.
relevancy. You need to check whether you're putting your site on this, directory or social bookmarking will be effective or not. Whether it actually has any traffic. If that site doesn't have any traffic, there's no point doing it. It will be a
Mm-hmm.
waste of time.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, love it. It's a big pleasure, Himani, to get on my show. You reply to a lot of great questions. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
Absolutely. It was really an honor to be with you. And thank you so much for having me and inviting me here.
Yeah, how to reach out to you or follow on social media, share about the
Okay.
best way.
Yeah, sure. So you guys can reach out to me on Twitter. Twitter, it's to me. Okay, so you guys can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's Himani Kankaria. Please copy my name over here and you can search it on LinkedIn and you can find me there. And even you can search my name on Google. You will find multiple sites where you can reach out to me. And Twitter, it's @Himani_Kankaria.
Mhm. Okay, guys, you can search on Google or open our podcast and find all these links in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time. A big pleasure that you found the time to share a lot of valuable insights with my audience. I'm pretty sure that will follow you because, yeah, you can see, guys, a lot of value why you need to ignore such kind of knowledge. And see you next time.
Yep, absolutely.